So hello, everyone. Welcome to Toxic Google. I'm Kevin Valk, and today we are very pleased to welcome Mr. John Boyega from Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
How are you?
Good. I got some toys here for you.
Oh, good. Is that for me to take home?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, fantastic.
$150, please.
No.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Huge movie. So we'll start off kind of with you in your beginning in your life. You grew up in Southeast London.
Yes.
And so you got involved with acting and stage work, and then right into tap dancing. A
Yes.
little bit of dance. And so what drew?
Woo! Hey, top battle.
So what drew JJ and Kathleen Kennedy and Lawrence for you for this role? What was it?
I mean, it all started 4 years ago. I was going to say a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but I'm not going to do that. Wait, we're in a room full of nerds, aren't we? Oh, I'm home. Oh, great. I met JJ at Bad Robot. I went to meet his producing partner, and then as I was walking to go and meet his producing partner, I saw Tom Cruise and JJ Abrams just walk out of a room. I was kind of like, okay, that's Tom Cruise, cool. And then JJ walked up to me and just expressed how much he loved my first ever film, Attack the Block. And he said, "You guys watched it?" Oh, yeah, great. And then he said that I love you in the movie. One day I'll get you in something. We'll just have to think of what's right. And then 4 years later, the opportunity came through Femi. By the way, my agent is at the back. You should probably give him a round of applause because there he is. And then I was released into a world of auditioning for the biggest role of my life.
Well, I mean, so you said it. So you kind of were geeking out. J.J. Abrams is a huge kind of geeking out about Star Wars and stuff like that. So what was it like working on set with him and just being on these iconic sets, some of them from the original trilogy, and also some of the original characters?
Yeah, I mean, I had no shame on a Star Wars set. I still have no shame. This is the only time I'm going to experience Star Wars like this for the first time. And so for me, I geeked out as much as I could. I brought merchandise to set for various cast members to sign. I did. I took selfies. Like, Harrison, you want to take a selfie? We're working together, kid. And it was nice, just having that experience.
Great impression.
But it's always nice. I ran around the Millennium Falcon. I had a fat burger, right, by the chess set on the Millennium Falcon. Like I lived on that thing. Yeah, I had a good time.
And so your character Finn is, we see him as a stormtrooper. It's one of the first shots that we actually see in the teaser trailer when it first came out. And eventually you team up with Daisy Ridley characters, Rey, Han Solo, BB-8. So what can you tell us about, that's not spoiler, I know we can't do that, but what can you tell us about your character in terms of just who Finn is personality-wise? Is he angry? Is he sad? Is he courageous? What is his character?
Finn's sweating. Finn is a very interesting character. As you know, like the clones before did not match up past the 35 years that we've missed. And so now Stormtroopers are actually bred from birth. They're babies and bred to fight from a young age. And Finn, it was just one of the many Stormtroopers. But something ignited in the young lad, and he escapes the First Order. And then he ends up on Jakku, and he finds the beautiful Rey, played by Daisy Ridley, and the Ball, BB-8. I call him the Ball, but yeah, named BB-8. And they all go off on an amazing adventure together in which they encounter new and the old. That was my Harrison again, by the way. Just want to.
So what inspirations in terms of actors or characters from previous movies were you kind of drawing from to develop Finn?
It was so funny. My second to last audition, which was a screen test, I was contemplating what it is to be Finn and what it means to be a character who is so unique and charismatic and somewhat awkward in this big universe, who doesn't fit in. And I went on YouTube. I should have said Google, but nah, man. It was YouTube.
Oh, yeah. We own them.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, so I went on YouTube, and there's an amazing video of Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill's original audition tape. You should see it after this talk. And I watched it, and I don't know what it is. It's just Star Wars energy. In a normal movie, if your ship was on fire and you're about to die, you know, there'll be phone calls to the family, tell them I love them, orchestral music, boom, the end. In Star Wars, it's like, hit the light speed, woo! And that for me was like, you know, a great way of experiencing sci-fi. So I kind of embodied that in my auditions.
It's great. And so just what's incredible about this movie and about just watching the trailers and just everyone's getting excited is kind of the return of practical effects and practical sets and real locations. So what was some of the most impressive sets or puppeteers or puppets, I mean, or characters that you got to work with on the set?
I think for me, it was the first time I went on set was in Abu Dhabi, and Jakku was real. Like, JJ is so dope. He had the droids moving in between takes. That makes it feel like Disneyland, like they actually there, like they exist. I felt like a kid, like the creatures would move and, you know, and I'm just there like, we're on a planet. We're a real planet. This is the closest we're ever gonna get to E.T. And so it was amazing to see that practical effects, puppetry, animatronics, all played a vital part, and the CG is just an enhancement of what's already there. So it's good to know that JJ went back to 1977.
And was there a person on the set that you, besides Daisy, who you really got along with the best and you really connected with?
Harrison's my best friend. Let's put it out there. He wouldn't say it exactly like that, but that's what he means.
You won over with the impression.
I mean, we've had a really good bond. I think one of the things that I'm most excited for people to discover is Finn and Han Solo's relationship. Finn has no respect for him. And in return, Han Solo is just, you know, like this snotty little kid. And it's a great combination and a great chemistry. So Harrison is someone I got to spend a lot of time with.
And Lawrence Kasdan came back to write the film. And
yes.
So he wrote Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So what was it like kind of having, was he there on set? Was he helping you with your character and Star Wars kind of folklore and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he collaborated with JJ a lot, and he was on set to tweak the scripts. And, you know, what's great about Larry in terms of the way he writes is that there is space for you to put your input into the dialogue. I think that specifically with me and Daisy, we had to create these characters from scratch, and to have a writer that enables you to breathe in between the dialogue is great. So you can throw in some improv, and it works out well.
Is it daunting too? Because you're kind of you're creating a brand new character in this universe. So is that a little daunting for you as well?
I mean, during the auditions, it was because before I present Finn to you in a few days, I had to present it to Disney. I had to present Finn to JJ, and it had to be approved before coming to you guys, who are the ultimate judges. You guys are the gods that decide whether a film does well or not. And you know, that was the time when I was kind of like, this could either be really bad or I can work hard and it could be good.
Well, and that's actually interesting too, because now that you have, you know, episode 7's done, so now with Rian Johnson taking on episode 8, do you have influence over your character now, like to say, I feel like you should be doing this?
Episode 8? You know? What are you talking about?
You caught me in my little sneak. Does Finn survive?
Does Finn survive?
Damn it. So we have some questions from some Googlers who Dana Honklein's gonna read off.
So our first question from the global audience is, what is your favorite piece of Star Wars paraphernalia that you own?
Ooh, I have a lot. I have a Star Wars comic book that's actually based on the first draft that George Lucas ever wrote. And Luke Skywalker is called Luke Starkiller. Han Solo is like an alien, like a furry thing. And it's all different. It was his first ever draft that they made into a comic book. And I own that, and I love it dearly. Femi, can we check that I still have that? I'm going to read it again.
So who would you, John, not your character, rather face in a fight, the aliens of Star Wars or the aliens of Attack the Block?
The aliens of Attack the Block every day, all day, because it's fun. And they're more dumb, so their survival is pretty much guaranteed. Sorry for the rest of the cast. But yeah, definitely aliens of Attack the Block.
What was your hardest day on set that you can tell us about?
Hardest day on set. That's such a good one. Gosh, JJ. I was obviously, as you've seen from the trailers, me and Daisy are in a really intense scene where there are TIE fighters chasing us down and there are loads of explosions. And the scene started with JJ just saying, okay, just run from here to there. Make sure you fit your dialogue in within that space. Make it fast, make it actiony. This is Star Wars, have fun. I'm like, okay, cool. JJ backs all the way up. JJ goes further. JJ goes behind a plastic tent. The camera's covered up. Crafty starts to go away. And I'm like, what's going on? And Daisy was just like, I think there's going to be explosions. I was like, 3, 2, 1. And it was hard. It was like, okay, again. And we've done that so many times, but it looks fantastic.
Yeah, well, so your hardest day on set. What was the most exciting day besides the first day you're on set, where you just stopped and you just?
I think the most exciting day is receiving the lightsaber. Obviously, we know Finn battles a stormtrooper that has an amazing tomfa. And the day they handed me that saber and called action, it was a glorious day. The castle was in ruins. There were stormtroopers everywhere. I had a lightsaber. I was just like, I'm legit the Black Anakin right now.
Amongst you and your co-stars, not their characters, who do you think could make the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs?
My gosh. Carrie Fisher. I mean, it'll be a hard land. We'll probably hit light speed before we hit a rock. But Carrie Fisher will definitely get us there, for sure.
And finally, we hear your pretty good impressions. We already heard one today. Do you have a favorite Star Wars universe impression, aside from Han, apparently?
Do or do not. There is no try.
So we got some audience questions as well, so the mics are opening up for audience.
So, thanks so much for being here, John.
No problem.
Quick question. Hopefully you can answer without doing any spoilers. Why is Finn out of breath in every shot?
I don't know, man.
Trailer?
I don't know. It's messed up. It's messed up.
Thanks.
I was like, JJ, man, you got to clean me up in this, man. Do some Michael Bay stuff. Do you know what's so funny about that? I love that. I think we're too used to seeing characters that have it figured out. We're used to heroes who are in trailers just like this. It's too much. Have him out of breath, looking awkward, and let's see if he ever rises to glory. That's what I say. So I commend JJ for having me sweating all up in that trailer.
Can you tell us your experience the first time watching Star Wars?
I watched Star Wars last week. No, I didn't. My first time watching Star Wars was when The Phantom Menace came out. I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 92. Soak it up, old people. Hell yeah. Young people in the house? Oh yeah. And then I watched The Phantom Menace, but at the time I wasn't really interested in character arcs and story. I didn't know much about it. I just saw lasers and ships, and I was just like, okay, cool, I'll watch it. And then after I watched the prequels, I then found out about the originals and started reading the comics, started playing the video games, and then I was just a Star Wars nerd for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Was there a character that you wanted to play, like you identified most with in the?
I know you know what I'm gonna say. It's Han Solo because
Everything's
I don't know. I love a character that represents us. To be honest, if each individual here was in Star Wars, you would not be Luke Skywalker. Come on. You won't be like trying to fight the forces of good and all that kind of stuff. You'd be Han trying to make money and survive. That's why I like him so much.
So just kind of like playing off your Instagram reaction of the trailer, which is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Have you seen the movie? And if so, did you react like that during the film?
You know, it's so funny. I was so still during the film. Kathy Kennedy was next to me. We watched it together. And it's just so strange. Like, I was there, obviously, when all these films were shot, but it's strange seeing everything edited together and seeing the visual effects, hearing the music. John Williams kills it in this movie. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm watching a Star Wars movie and I'm in the Star Wars movie. Am I in it? Yeah, I'm in it. Oh my gosh, that's me. Okay. And yeah, that's how I reacted.
Yeah, after the original trilogy, there were like a bunch of novels, like extending the universe, like Throne, Mara Jade, and like a bunch of other like kind of iconic characters. But now they are not there. So have you read all those books, or what's your opinion about all those?
I've read a lot of the extended universe books, and I mean, I'm not really into the Star Wars comics as much as I'm into like the Marvels and the DCs, just because I experienced Star Wars through the movies. But I do love playing the video game. Is anyone playing Battlefront at the moment? Guys, you will never beat me. It's literally, I am so good. So yeah, that's my experience of the books and stuff.
Hi, so I had another question about your reaction video. Obviously, you were really excited.
Yeah.
Was that your first chance to let people know, like your friends and family, that you are, basically a Jedi in this movie? Like, and how hard was it to keep that in?
I don't know what a Jedi is. What was that? No idea.
Just some guy in a leather jacket, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was the first time I ever saw the trailer and the main trailer. It was just put together in a way that shocked me. So I had to jump over the sofa for a second. But it wasn't the first time I had shared my excitement. Obviously, my mum and dad got to come on set, while I was filming, and actually they came on set while I was doing the lightsaber battle with the Stormtrooper. My mum was crying because she was just like, "Don't let that white thing hurt you." And my dad was just like, "Go on, knock him out, knock him out." So,
Thank you.
Now, did your parents like Star Wars? Did they?
My mum has no idea what it is. No idea. I'm like, "Mum, Luke Skywalker, he wants to be a Jedi, the Force." She's like, "When do you show up?"
All right, I'm gonna be that guy and not ask about Star Wars. And just since you already brought it up, what do you think happened to Moses and his crew after the events of Attack the Block? Do they keep fighting aliens, or does he get out of prison? What?
I after the filming of Attack the Block, I pitched an idea to Joe. And I said we could have a teaser trailer with just the Big Ben. There are more aliens that come down, and Moses is just galloping across Westminster Bridge on a police horse with loads more youths around him just to go to war. So I think Moses is back on the streets, and he's definitely up for killing more aliens for sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
So going back to the expanded universe bit, obviously Disney decanonized a lot of it.
Yep.
Is there some bit of it that you wish was persisted into the Episode 7?
It would have been good to discover Darth Vader's secret apprentice. It would have been good to discover that, to see how he kind of would mesh with the franchise films. But I think the main thing, I trust what we were given before in terms of the films. I always think it's important to expand on the original story. And even though we don't get to experience the expanded universe, there are risks being taken in Force Awakens that won't make it the same old story. So we will still feel like we're getting a piece of the expanded stories.
That's great, thanks.
I'm curious to get your honest opinion on the prequel trilogy. Nobody else is going to see this, so you can just say what you really think.
When I watched the prequels, all I saw was imagery, and I was young, so I wasn't really looking for what you guys hold most dear, which is you guys love the character arcs, you guys love the fight between good and evil, a space opera. I wasn't looking for that when I watched the prequels. All I was looking for was action, explosions, so it was great for me. But I was touched by Revenge of the Sith. I enjoyed it. The ending was quite touching to me, to see how it joins up to the other stories. But a lot of people are very critical about them. And I get it, but Force Awakens is not like that. Disney really was supposed to.
All right, one more question.
Okay, kind of in the same vein as this question, how personally responsible do you feel for whether this movie is a success or a failure? Like, you don't want to be the next Jar Jar Binks, right? That would be awful. Yeah.
I don't feel responsible at all. I've already got my escape plan through the tunnel on 45th Street. You guys will never see me again. We all feel responsible, like we all do. I remember telling Harrison, like, dude, if this flops, I'm standing behind you, mate. You're going to take most of it. But it's not going to. It's going to be amazing. I just know it because there's a general feeling and a natural geekiness that connects all Star Wars fans, and it touched me. And if it can touch me, I know that it's going to touch everybody else. But the guy that we really need to pray for is J.J. Abrams, because I mean, the most pressure is on him. You know, we as actors, we come in, we film the project and just go, bye, JJ, see you later. Oh yeah, good luck editing the film. And so I think he turned into Moses, one of the biblical characters, growing facial hair in that editing room because he was there for a long time, but he's done a fantastic job. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
So, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, comes out December 18th with some showings on the 17th, so go see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks so much, John.
Lovely to meet you, man.
Like, meet you, bud.